We'll call this meeting of the Silver City Town Council to order. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is a proclamation. Think Local, Buy Local, and Invest Local Month, December 10th to the 31st, 2013. And Sissy and anybody else that's here to receive this, meet me at the podium. Whereas the Southwest New Mexico Green Chamber of Commerce is focused on supporting the success and strength of our local economy and encouraging the efforts of our local independent business owners, and whereas the Southwest New Mexico Green Chamber of Commerce was officially organized in January 2010 with the stated purpose of supporting triple bottom line economic development for socially and environmentally responsible business practices, such that they positively impact our community, and whereas what and where you buy matters. Encouraging local buying has proven positively impact communities on multiple levels, including keeping local communities unique, improving the environment by reducing transportation, keeping more money local as on an average 31% more money spent local stays local, promoting stronger local economies with competition and diversity, reducing costs to the town as a local business costs communities less in infrastructure, supporting community needs as local businesses are invested in the community. Local businesses give more back to their communities and nonprofit causes, and buying local helps spur entrepreneurship and angel investors to grow startup and small businesses. And whereas the Southwest New Mexico Green Chamber of Commerce has launched the Tell Us Your Favorite Buy Local Story contest to encourage consumers to shop local and share their positive experiences during the month of December. Now therefore, I, James R. Marshall, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the town of Silver City, do hereby proclaim December 10, 2013 through December 31st, 2013 as Think Local, Buy Local, and Invest Local Month, and urge all citizens to support our independent and locally owned businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor, councilors, staff, and citizens. We had a wonderful Buy Small Business Day on Saturday, right after Thanksgiving, and this will help us to continue to promote local businesses through the month of December, and we will also continue this Buy Local campaign through 2014, having monthly awards for people's stories of why they are buying local and the wonderful opportunities and relationships they've been able to build by focusing on our local businesses, not buying online and not buying out of town or out of Grant County. So thank you very much for this proclamation.
The next item on the agenda is public input. I remind you have 5 minutes to speak. If you're looking at me, I'll give you a 1-minute heads up. And the first person on the list is Larry McLeod, reference the noise ordinance.
Good evening. My name is Larry McLeod. I thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I bring to the Town Council tonight a quality of life petition that has been signed by over 200 citizens. The petition reads, Quality of Life Petition. Neighbors deserve to be safe and enjoy a high quality of life in the downtown and historic districts of Silver City. Prosperous communities provide for a high quality of life where peace and tranquility are the norm. We, the undersigned, request the Silver City Town Council to work towards ensuring peaceful neighborhoods by controlling loud, annoying, unnecessary noises and speeding for the benefit of all, citizens and visitors alike. Residents are very concerned with the safety and well-being of our neighborhoods. We strongly encourage Town Council to provide for a quality neighborhood environment by actively enforcing the ordinance already in place. I have 17 pages of petitions here that I would like to give you tonight. This is the third time that I've been here and spoken on this issue this year. I have come to the Town Council meeting to express my concerns about noise and speeding in Silver City. There are ordinances in place to regulate noise and speeding, but they are not being enforced. There are many loud vehicles that drive in Silver City, and according to the court, none have been cited under the ordinance 1175, which was passed in 2011. Over 200 citizens strongly encourage you as a council to enforce the ordinances already in place. A number of business owners in historic downtown have signed this petition. This is not a special interest issue. This is a public interest issue that affects the health of the whole community. We all want prosperous Silver City that is free from loud, unnecessary noises and has safe streets that are free of speeders. Ordinances are already in place to address these issues. Silver City Police need to enforce the laws in a fair way to control these problems. So again, please, listen to the people and work towards a better quality of life for all by enforcing the noise and speed ordinance. Thanks again for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, sir.
Now, give me the...
Give it to Ann.
Okay.
The next speaker is Susie Siedentop on the same topic.
Excuse me, I'm Susie Siedentop, and I'd like to thank the council members and the mayor for being here tonight and listening to our concerns. As Larry said, is this not on? Oh, right there? Okay.
That's better.
Thanks. We have a petition with over 200 signatures, and I would like to read you some of the comments from the signatures. Barking dogs are a nuisance. It's too loud downtown. Down with gang rap on stereos. Noise is so disruptive. We need enforcement. We have a noise ordinance. It's a health issue. We need a quieter downtown. We need speed bumps on Market. We need speed bumps on F. We need Noble Park patrolled. I would like to see a return on our taxes. I'm sick and tired of Harleys on Bullard. Please help. This is important for citizens and visitors alike. Nice town, but too noisy. Curb the loud cars. Shh. Noise. Stop it. Enforce the rules. Slow down. Speeders cruise right through the stop sign on Market and Eads Street. We need to respect each other. Cooper, College, and Market are the worst for speeding and noise, and I'd like to add Bullard Street to that. Noise and speeding are big concerns. Dogs barking, 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 barking. Loud stereos in cars, too much noise. All ordinances should be enforced. Too loud. This petition is long overdue. Thank you. Quiet is good. It's about time to enforce the ordinances. Enforce speed and noise around WNMU. Noise in Silver City is the reason I moved out of town. Please enforce the laws. We are totally in agreement with this petition. Noisy vehicles, mufflers, car stereos are bad. Stop the speeding on Alabama Street. Do the police enforce this? Improve safety for everyone. It's really loud for a small town. It's noise pollution. Excessive noise, but no enforcement. Stop the volume and velocity freaks. It's been getting worse lately. We need to enforce speed on Market Street, especially in the school zone. Need a stop sign at Market and A. I won't live in a noisy town. As several of the comments said, we have the ordinances. Please enforce them. This is a quality of life issue. Thank you.
Next is Frances Trotta.
Hey, good evening, and I just wanted to comment that it's an interesting fit to be promoting small businesses downtown and then to have complaints about noise in that same area, so think about that. Anyway, I wanted to thank the Silver City Police Department for effectively eliminating a noise complaint I made in November. An organization was broadcasting over loudspeakers in Gulf Park, and I live behind the HMS building on North Grant Street, and at some distance it was quite loud, but the officers requested that the individuals turn the speakers down, and they complied, so that was a good thing. So what I have is basically two questions, and I really am ignorant to this response. Do officers routinely show up for a noise complaint with a decibel measuring equipment? And if so, or when it is used, how is the device employed? So that's what I have a question about. And thank you for being here tonight and helping me make my statement.
Thank you. Next is William Joseph.
Hello, and thank you for listening. My name is William Joseph, and I also have spoken on this issue before on many occasions. We have a problem with noise in this town. Per the petition, I personally believe that noise is a pollution with adverse effect on our environment, no different than litter on our streets, and severely impacts our quality of life, as stated in the town mission statement. It's actually a health hazard, again, a pollution. Also, as to economic development, which is so often spoken of numerous times, noise is a huge negative impact to this. Businesses on board have signed this petition and have said it negatively impacts them. Ask them yourself. Wouldn't one think this would be a problem for future businesses coming into town? I sure would think so. I really know that the city council and the mayor agree with noise as a problem, or you wouldn't have a noise ordinance in the first place. We are asking you to give this issue more attention and do whatever possible to improve this lingering problem. Can we put signs up on our streets saying we enforce the noise ordinance, just like we do no litter signs? Why not? Other towns do that. Can we increase the fines for violations of this ordinance? I really think that most people in Silver City are good law-abiding citizens, but it only takes a few that destroys our quality of life that we often talk about. Thank you.
And next is Linda Sylvester.
Hi, thank you for letting me talk tonight. Nobody has really mentioned the Silver Heights neighborhood. I live on 25th and Yucca, just west of Swan, and it seems to be a road that's used very, very frequently, maybe by a lot of the high school students, I'm not sure. But I don't know if people just don't replace their mufflers or if they actually add something to their vehicles to make the noise louder. But it's really difficult, especially in the summer. I can't keep my windows open. I have a really nice patio that I don't really enjoy because the noise of the cars. And so I hope I'm representing the Silver Heights area as well as the downtown area in saying that we really, really hope that the noise ordinance will be enforced from now on. Thank you.
Thank you. And Sharon McDonald?
Thank you very much for letting us speak tonight. I live on College, 2 blocks downhill from Light Hall. I am retired. I am home a lot, day and night. I am an eyewitness and ear witness to what's been discussed this evening. I'm one of those people that's really right there most of the time. Okay, so I've been to talk to the police a couple of times about this. The little speed thing comes out on the street. Everything works for about a day or two, and it's right back to the things that go together around here, which is the loud mufflers, the loud music, the speeding, and the complete adolescent disregard for being part of a larger community. Self-serving kids, mostly, almost all are males. I've seen one woman in 5 years. Okay, this noise on College goes on sometimes, not every night, not every morning, 7 a.m., boom, 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 can't sleep, till 1:30 in the morning. Some are even going systematically up and down the streets in the historic College area and just making racket 1:30 in the morning. It's very hard to live a decent adult life in this environment. Also, the racing sometimes is such, I can't even see the color of the car. And I'm an artist, I know color, okay? Q's Bistro noise goes on Thursday nights till 11 p.m., and I find that to be obscene. My house becomes a drum, and I am that far up the street. And I do not think that it serves the rest of us to have loud music inside my double-insulated walls. I don't really want to pay for those people on Medicaid getting their hearing fixed. The merchants and visitors I have heard in person talk about the noise on Bullard, throw up their hands as if nothing can be done. I also have known people who chose not to move to this town due to the lax laws about community involvement, such as the noise, the theft, the vandalism. They've actually chosen not to come here because of that. It's that well known that prospective tenants, residents, are not coming in. And the motorcycles on Bullard are just unbelievably horrid at times, okay? I would like to ask you, please, if you could consider the resident taxpayers more than the transients, the students, and the visitors. Because I just feel like I'm way on the totem pole. Everybody gets to have their way, polluting our air. We have laws for smoking. Why not for noise? I like to have the law enforced equally, and I've heard lots of stories about this. Equally for everybody, the in-group, the out-group, versus this kind of tribal, nepotistic overlooking of certain people who, because they're family, we won't do anything with them. I have eyewitnessed these things. You can talk to me later if you want the details. And I really wanted to say that I've been around a lot of campuses. I have not heard this kind of noise in Albuquerque, Tucson, Phoenix, Las Cruces, El Paso. I have not, and I've been around campuses in these areas. I have never heard the racket like this. We know, we who live on College, that a lot of this is the students, because when there is a hiatus, a fall holiday, this will calm down for the week or whatever, but not completely. There's a lot of people who commute out of town. They go up College to E, they turn, they go to Market, and they go out to the trailer parks and the residences on out further on the road to Cliff. I want to also remind our council here, our group, that intermittent, loud, unwanted noise is actually a form of torture. We have learned about this so clearly in regards to Iraq, and I want to let you know that's what it's like. You never know when you're thinking, have a little peace and quiet, that all of a sudden some adolescent, no matter how old they are, is going to come through with his desire to let the whole world know that he's out there. And I consider this hideous and rude and no sense of community whatsoever. Could we make this a better town? If you want people to move here, let's straighten up and try to grow up. Thank you.
And next is Todd McCarty.
Hello, thank you for letting me speak. I live up in the 13th and Silver area of town behind the Food Basket. Just like the rest of these other folks have been saying, up there I listen to dogs constantly barking, listen to these little cars with their cherry bomb exhaust mufflers going bzzz up the street all the time, and then the ones with their playing the rap music with their bass cannon. They'll sit in front of a house somewhere, and I'll be watching TV, and I can hear that, and it'll go on for like 2 hours. And the dogs, I've been out like cooking hamburgers on my porch and listened to dogs bark for 4 hours straight up that way. And when I go see my people in Oklahoma and Missouri, I never hear dogs barking for hours straight or anything like that, because over there they enforce the noise laws. It's just, I don't know how people can stand it to have to get up, like my friends that have to go to work early in the morning, and the dog's barking till 2 o'clock in the morning. And I've been down to the code enforcement lady numerous times asking about the noise ordinance. Is the city ever going to enforce it, or what's going on with it? Because, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Why can't something be done like these dogs that go for 4 or 5 hours straight? But anyway, thank you for letting me say my piece, and y'all have a good night.
Sir. Next on the agenda is council comments. Councilor Morones, would you like to start?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate all the audience who brought these concerns forward. When we did put in the new noise ordinance, you know, it was heavily debated, it was scrutinized. A lot of people put in a lot of effort to work on it, and I thought it was, and still believe it's a fair, balanced approach and a good ordinance. Hopefully, we can do better in working it through. I'll wait, instead of asking questions now, I'll let the flow of council comments go through, but in staff reports, hopefully the police chief can talk about his efforts in enforcing the ordinance, and hopefully we can work towards maybe improvement, or seeing how that is, or at least articulating what is being done, and move forward. But I appreciate that the feedback, because not even though we put in an ordinance and we work hard to see it through, we do need to monitor it. We do need the feedback. We need to see how things are working, and if we have to go back to the drawing board, we'll do such. So thank you, everybody. And on a lighter note, looking at the agenda, I'm not sure I will be seeing staff and the citizens again for this year, depending on meetings. So I wish everybody happy holidays and safe holidays, and as long as we try to be quiet and be good and safe, maybe it'll be pretty uneventful for our public safety officials here and their staffs. So season's greetings. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Rick?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank Jim and Demi Nimick from the Food Basket for doing their annual Thanksgiving dinner. They had a lot of support, both from the city and from the county and from the local veterans. Also,
Getting back to the noise ordinance, we had a toy run this past Saturday, and I apologize if we were too loud, but we wanted to show the people from Silver City and from Grant County that the bikers do have a heart, and we collected a lot of toys for the kids, and we took them to CYFD. So if we made some noise with you guys, I'm sorry, but we just want to make you aware that what we were trying to do. Also, I agree with Mr. Morales. We might not have a next meeting here in a couple of weeks, and I too would like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Cook.
No comment.
Thank you, Councilor Benson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank everyone for their comments, and I want to thank, I can't remember your last name, Linda from 25th Neck? Thank you, Linda, because you did speak for the Silver Heights neighborhood in that area, which is where I live, and I know that in the past, the Silver City Police Department has been responsive to folks that have called in, and they have put out patrols in that area, and it has decreased. Unfortunately, the folks that have the loud mufflers and the loud music and speed and run through the stop sign that's in front of the Four Corners at 21st and Yucca where I live, they are folks that are not necessarily interested in obeying the laws. So that's unfortunate for all of us, because I think, as many of you have mentioned, that it's a few people that can make it difficult for everyone. And that is why the noise ordinance was put in place. I think that continued examination of it, whether or not it needs to be revamped a little bit to be responsive. It's difficult to enforce sometimes. By the time they've sped through the area, it's hard for officers to respond because they're gone. So you have to kind of wait for them to come back around again, which is also difficult because you really don't want them to come back around again. But I do appreciate everyone making comments, because I know it can be difficult. And Silver City is a little bit of a bowl. I think we talked about that when the noise ordinance was first brought forward. And it's in the shape of the bowl is such that where I live, it can be a very nice, quiet night, and I can hear every single bit of noise that's out on the highway. So sometimes we can't do things about things that are way out on the highway. It's just the way, it could be the weather, the moisture content in the air, things like that. But at the same time, trying to do whatever we can to enforce the noise ordinance in the proximity of our homes, our residences, and our businesses is really what the Silver City Police Department and those of us, at least on the council, are concerned about doing, and I appreciate the comments you made tonight. And to everyone, I think we might need to have a council meeting, so we may see you, but just in case, season's greetings and Happy New Year. Let's hope it's not too loud with too many fireworks, but Happy New Year.
Thank you, Councilor. I'll address the comments tonight briefly. I've given discussion on this and wasted my breath for numerous times in the last several years. And, you know, people have a right to express themselves, but not when it crosses my property line. And in many cases, that can be considered under the definition of bullying, and it is disrespectful. It's just rude, and it's the same with the running stop signs. You know, I find it difficult to find somebody coming to a complete stop sign or complete stop at a stop sign unless they're forced to by other traffic. And, you know, this is The police can sit there and they can write tickets, and they write thousands of them and thousands of them. This is really a society issue, and this is parents, grandparents, families teaching their family, those that they're responsible for raising, to respect others. And we've got the law in place, and it was discussed when we passed it that part of the purpose of the law is to set a standard that the community can see this is what's acceptable in the community and this is what's not. Apparently, those that tend to violate that don't read those or don't care. And that's what's very, very frustrating. It's frustrating to us, it's frustrating to the police, it's frustrating to all of you. I mean, one of the very first calls I got on noise when I got elected was a lady that was calling me about a barking dog. And I stepped out on my front porch, and she got all offended because she could hear the dog barking in my yard. And she said, "So you have a dog?" And I said, "Actually, I don't. It's my neighbor's." So we suffer some of the same trials and tribulations that all of you do. And we are working on them. I know the chief takes them seriously, and he's got quite a monumental task at hand to address all of these concerns. We're going to keep working on them. And while I have you all here, since there's not a lot of vacant chairs, we have some openings on town boards and committees. We have 2 openings on the Grant County Silver City Extraterritorial Subdivision Commission, and that is 2 openings for regular members and 2 openings for alternate members. And that is a really, really important commission that we get filled up. They have yet to set the standards that can be utilized when developing the ETZ, and until we can come up with a full slate of members and the county have a full slate of members at the same time, it's going to be very, very difficult. So consider that. The details are on the town's website. The museum board has 3 openings, and that's an advisory board. The incentive review committee has 1 opening. Planning and zoning commission has 1 opening. And the library board currently has 1 opening. And I would encourage all of you to go to the website and review the possibilities for you to contribute and advise us. And we look forward to applications pouring in. Yeah, right. Anybody need round 2? The next thing on the agenda, is there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes of the regular meeting of November 12th, 2013.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor.
I move that we approve the minutes of the regular town council meeting of November 12th, 2013 as presented.
I second it.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Is there any other discussion? There's a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of November 12, 2013 for the town council. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is under reports. Mr. Brown. Chief Reynolds.
Mayor, City Council, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present some information. I want to thank everybody that came in and provided information, feedback on some of the issues in the community. We are working hard to try and impact some of those issues. Within the last 3.5 months, we've issued 17 citations on the unlawful noises and muffler issues. 15 of those were for the unlawful noise under the ordinance, and and 2 of those were for mufflers. I want to address the speeding, and as the mayor said, I won't take too much time on the stats. I finished up the November stats, and we issued 1,506 citations in that month. And if you take a look at the stats for the last previous month, the last time we were under 1,000 citations was June. We've been issuing on average probably for the month 1,138 citations a month. So we're out there enforcing the traffic issues. We do directed patrols and put officers in specific areas of town that we deem are issues. I want everybody to understand, first and foremost, calls for service is the most important part of our job. We respond to those calls for service. If someone has an issue in their neighborhood, they need to call Central Dispatch, and an officer will respond to that. If it's an emergency, of course, you need to use the 911, but the non-emergency number is the 388-8840 number to call to report any issues in the area. We're a very busy department. This last month was the only month that we were below 1,000 calls for service for the month. However, it was our highest self-initiated by the officers, which was at 4,098. Calls for service were at 955 calls for service, which is actually outstanding. We haven't had one of those below 1,000 this year. So with the officers' high self-initiated activity, we've impacted them. All these stats will be on our site tomorrow, as well as the city manager will get a copy of them tomorrow. The reason why we enforce a lot of traffic, and we also use it in specific areas of town, such as Market Street, downtown, is to impact some of those quality of life. But we also do a lot of enforcement of speeding, and I've talked to that previously. Speed equals injuries in traffic accidents, so we're high on that. To say that we don't enforce speeding, that's just not true, pure and simple on that. We've reduced this last month our traffic crashes down to 27 total. That's private property and roadway crashes, compared to 38 the last month before that. So we're working those. We understand the quality of life issues. We want to impact those quality of life issues. We have targeted lists of violations that we work. The mufflers and the loud noise complaints are part of those targeted issues. We rotate areas within our community that we do the enforcement. We're not just sitting in one specific area. I don't have the manpower to do that, and I will probably never have the manpower to do that. Fact of life, we have noise, and we're going to have noise. We want to lower that level of noise within our community. So we're stepping up enforcement on that area using the new ordinance, plus using some other uniform traffic ordinances that we have on hand. Any question?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple questions. I'll start with what I believe is the easier one. There was a question I noted in the comments about speed bumps. Can we put speed bumps on commercial roads?
We try to avoid, and I'm sorry to interrupt, we try to avoid putting speed bumps, speed humps, or speed tables on main roadways. Bullard Street is not a conducive area to that. However, I'll make this comment. If you choose, and I've looked at this before for Bullard Street, if you choose to put a speed hump or table, and I prefer tables because they've been effective in other areas of town. If you choose to put those, then you put them in areas where we can use as crosswalks as well, in specific areas of town. The problem with downtown is, even driving downtown with your window open, you hear a lot of noise. It's based on the configuration of buildings. We talked about that before. They're old buildings, they're set in, and the sound reverberates off those buildings. Even if I'm playing my radio at a moderate level, it can be heard outside. The ordinance, I believe, says you can't have the music loud enough to be heard 25 feet away. What our officers have been doing is not using the decibel meters, and I'll cover this real quick, but they've been using a standard. If I can hear your music outside your vehicle at 25 feet or more, then it's too loud. The boom boxes that rattle the windows, obviously. So we're not using decibel meters. And we're looking at setting up specific operations where we sit downtown with just the decibel meters, and maybe stop the motorcycles, have them rev them, see what the decibel meter reading is. But that's something that we're looking at doing. It's just not conducive. Even using the decibel meters in neighborhoods where there's music down the street. We're standing in somebody's yard trying to pick up a reading. It doesn't reach the level on the decibel meter, but at the time of day and the loudness of that, we go ahead and enforce simply because we can hear it all the way down there. So we have ways of dealing with specific issues on those. Now, understand, yes, this is a quality of life issue. I'll get back to the point I'm making, is that we have more higher priority calls that we have to address, and we get to these other areas as we can. It's just like the enforcement up on the Sarah Court area, etc. It's a targeted area. We rotate those targets, and we get into them as we can. So, again, hopefully I answered your question.
You did. In fact, you answered my next question, which was going to be about the meters. So I appreciate you elaborating on using the meters, using alternative methods to the meters. And, you know, beyond your control, I just hope that we can convey to our citizens, our parents, and our grandparents, as the mayor mentioned, that we need to teach respect to it in many cases. You know, being born and reared here, I've probably wreaked havoc on a lot of people with my own noise that I produced. But over time, you know, you find out that that's not being a productive citizen, and it's not being showing respect to your fellow, your neighbors and such. So hopefully we can all do a little better job in self-policing and working with our friends and family and conveying those ideas. But do want to you know, also add to keep up the work, keep working on it. Try to utilize those meters as much as possible, even if it's on specific tasks in specific areas, and continue to use the alternative methods, and let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Chief Bencomo? Mayor, Council, I don't really have a report, but what I would like to do is state that the Silver City Fire Department will be conducting its annual end of the year award ceremony, and at that event we recognize firefighters for their past achievements, their promotions. We name the firefighter of the year. So I know the mayor, we've asked him to address it since it will be his last time as mayor, the opportunity to do that. We would also like to extend the invitation to the council, staff,
and all the public out there. The event will take place at the Global Resource Center, December the 20th, that's Friday, and should begin at 10:30. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Any other staff reports? You're good to go. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing entitled Approval, Disapproval of a Craft Distiller Off-Site License with On-Premise and Package Sales License Number Application Number A-891210. Applicant name Little Toad Creek LLC, doing business as Little Toad Creek Brewery and Distillery. Proposed location 200 North Bullard Street, Silver City, New Mexico 8061. The town council will serve as the hearing board, and I, as the mayor, will be the presiding officer. Have any members of this hearing board had ex parte discussion with any person regarding the subject matter of this hearing, or had any communication from any party to this case?
No, sir.
Hearing none, you are all qualified. Will all parties and witnesses intending to testify, including those staff members who intend to present testimony or who will be available for questioning, please rise and come to the podium to be sworn in by the town clerk. If you have not been sworn, you will not be permitted to testify or otherwise participate in this hearing.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, David Crosby,
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
do solemnly swear or affirm
That the testimony I am about to give.
that the testimony I'm about to give
In the matter before this council.
in the matter before this council
Is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth,
Under penalty of perjury.
under penalty of perjury.
Thank you.
Okay, the hearing will be conducted as follows. The town staff, there is no report. How about the applicant will present their case, next will come witnesses in support of the applicant's case. The appellant applicant, or witnesses may then be questioned by the hearing board. The presiding officer will then ask the applicant if that concludes its case in chief, and states that the proponent and its witnesses will remain available to be further questioned by the hearing board, by staff, or by opponents to the application. Following the close of the applicant's case, witnesses in opposition to the applicant's case shall be permitted to testify, during the course of which the witness may address the questions to any previous witness, but such questions shall be made through the presiding officer. The presiding officer shall have the sole discretion in directing the question for response, considering whether the question is relevant, is cumulative to other testimony, or is otherwise inappropriate. At the close of testimony against the application, the presiding officer will ask the applicant, is there anything else you wish to be reflected in the record? And then we will try to make a decision. And I got to read this 3 times tonight, so I'm going to figure it out before I'm done. Please state your name and present your case.
Hello, Mr. Mayor and councilors. My name is Teresa Dahlberdine. My husband David Crosley and I are here to represent Little Toad Creek LLC. We started this business 2 years ago. We began with a restaurant and a hotel in the Lake Roberts area, about 25 miles north of Silver City. We opened our restaurant with a beer and wine license, so we've been serving alcohol there for nearly 2 years. At the same time, we started the application process for a craft distiller's license and a small brewer's license. That process took about 9 months, going through the federal level, the state level, and the county level to get that approval. We were approved in January of 2013 and began production of beer and spirits on a very small scale out at our facility in Lake Roberts. We are also serving the spirits and beer that we produce there in the restaurant. Under New Mexico law, we are allowed to use these licenses, the craft brewers, the craft distillers, and the small brewers license, to apply for a tasting room, which is a remote facility operated under the same license. And we would like to do that in Silver City. We both grew up in Silver City and love this area, love Silver City devotedly. We were very excited when we had the opportunity to lease the building formerly known as Isaac's downtown, right on the corner of Broadway and Bullard. And we're very excited to bring a new business downtown. We will have a restaurant there, as well as under this license, if we're approved, we will sell beer and spirits made in New Mexico to the public by the drink and also in unbroken packages. We really believe that we can be a big boost to the economy in Silver City, to the vibrancy of Main Street. We love the idea of filling one of the empty holes downtown and hope that we can be a good addition to downtown Silver City. Thanks.
Thank you. Any witnesses in support of the application? You didn't get sworn in. I can't consider. Are there any witnesses? Does that conclude your case in chief?
Yes.
Any questions for the witness? I'm just going to ask you, the application can be disapproved for 3 reasons, and I'm just going to have you state your answer for those 3. And it's is the proposed location within an area where the sale of alcoholic beverages is prohibited by the laws of New Mexico?
No.
The issuance or transfer would be in violation of a zoning or other ordinance of the governing body?
No.
The issuance would be detrimental to the public health, safety, or morals of the residents of the local option district?
I believe not.
Thank you. Are there any witnesses in opposition to the application? He didn't say much, but he got sworn in, so I was afraid he was going to oppose you.
I 100% support everything my wonderful, beautiful wife has said, and we do look very forward to being able to serve our hometown. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else you wish to be reflected in the record?
Not at this time, no.
Does any member of the hearing board have any questions for any witnesses? Is the hearing board prepared to consider this application and render its decision?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor.
I move to approve of a craft distiller outside license with on-premises and package sales, license number, application number A-891210, applicant name Little Toad Creek LLC, DBA as Little Toad Creek Brewery and Distillery, proposed location 200 North Bullard Street, Silver City, New Mexico, 88061.
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Is there any other discussion? There's a motion and a second to approve of a craft distiller off-site license with on-premise and package sales license number. Application number is A-891210. Applicant name Little Toad Creek LLC, doing business as Little Toad Creek Brewery and Distillery. Proposed location is 200 North Bullard Street, Silver City, New Mexico, 88061. There being no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Before we start the next one, I don't know if you've heard the trouble I've had with the name. I've renamed you the Little Croak Creek. Often. The next on the agenda is a public hearing entitled Approval Disapproval of a Small Brewer Off-Site License with On-Premise and Package Sales License Number. Application number is A-891212. Applicant name Little Toad Creek LLC, doing business as Little Toad Creek Brewery. Proposed location 200 North Bullard Street, Silver City, New Mexico, 88061. The town council will serve as the hearing board, and I, as mayor, will be the presiding officer. Have any members of this hearing board had ex parte discussion with any person regarding the subject matter of this hearing, or had any communication from any party to this case?
No, sir.
Hearing none, you're all qualified. Will all parties and witnesses intending to testify, including those staff members who intend to present testimony or who will be available for questioning, please rise and come to the podium to be sworn in by the town clerk. If you have not been sworn, you will not be permitted to testify or otherwise participate in this hearing.
Okay, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, David Crosby,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that the testimony I'm about to give
that the testimony I'm about to give
in the matter before this council
in the matter before this council
is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth,
is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth,
under penalty of perjury.
under penalty of perjury.
The hearing will be conducted as follows. The town, no, we're not going to do that. The applicant shall present their case. Next will come witnesses in support of the applicant's case. The applicant, staff, or witnesses may then be questioned by the hearing board. The presiding officer will then ask the applicant if that concludes its case in chief and states that the proponent and its witnesses will remain available to be further questioned by the hearing board, by staff, or by opponents to the application. Following the close of the applicant's case, witnesses in opposition to the applicant's case shall be permitted to testify, during the course of which the witness may address questions to any previous witness, but such questions shall be made to the presiding officer. The presiding officer shall have the sole discretion in directing the question for response, considering whether the question is relevant, is cumulative to other testimony, or is otherwise inappropriate. At the close of testimony against the application, the presiding officer will ask the applicant, is there anything else you wish to be reflected in the record? And you have the floor.
This is the second license that I spoke of, the small brewers off-site license, and I think I've already said enough about that in the former case.
Any questions?
No.
You're requesting that Mr. Scarborough.
I just want to remind the witnesses that what we said in the last hearing doesn't exist in this hearing.
Oh, okay.
So as operators of the small brewers, under the small brewers license for over a year, and now excited to extend this to Silver City, we are excited in requesting you approve this license to conduct sales by the glass and unbroken packages in our new tasting room downtown Silver City at 200 North Bullard. We also really like that this time of year has been dedicated to Think Local, Buy Local, and Invest Local month. As local producers and as restaurateurs, we think we can participate in this and be a boon to this community.
Any other witnesses in support of the application? Seeing none, does that conclude your case?
Yes.
Are there any witnesses in opposition to the application? Seeing none, is there anything else you wish to be reflected in the record?
I would just like to let everybody know that craft brewed beer as well as craft distilled spirits are the best way to truly enjoy a nice drink. So, you know, let's remember we are local, and let's all keep it local.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you the same three questions. The proposed location is within an area where the sale of alcoholic beverages is prohibited by the laws of New Mexico?
No.
The issuance or transfer would be in violation of a zoning or other ordinance of the governing body?
No.
The issuance would be detrimental to the public health, safety, or morals of the residents of the local option district?
No.
Thank you. Anything else? Does any member of the hearing board have any questions for any witness?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hearing none, is the hearing board prepared to consider this application and render its decision?
Yes, sir.
Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor.
I move to approve of a small brewer off-site license with on-premise and package sales, license number, application number 891-212, applicant name Little Toad Creek LLC, DBA as, Little Toad Creek Brewery, proposed location 200 North Board Street, Silver City, New Mexico, 88161.
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, there's a motion and a second to approve of a small brewer's off-site license with on-premise and package sales license number application number A-891212, applicant named Little Toad Creek LLC, doing business as Little Toad Creek Brewery, proposed location 200 North Bullard Street, Silver City, New Mexico, 88061. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That concludes the hearing, and good luck. Thank you. We good? That'll be fast. Next on the agenda is a public hearing entitled Approval, Disapproval of Ordinance Number 1226, an ordinance for a map amendment zone change number ZC 13-05 from a commercial zone to a residential B zone for a tract of land which is addressed as 816 East 19th Street, Silver City, New Mexico. The property is located in Block 13 of the Plata Vista addition to the town of Silver City. The applicant is the owner, Jacob B. Vega. The town council will serve as hearing board, and I, as mayor, will be the presiding officer. Have any members of this hearing board had ex parte discussion with any person regarding the subject matter of this hearing, or had any communication from any party to this case?
No.
No, sir.
Hearing none, you're all qualified. Will all parties and witnesses intending to testify, including those staff members who intend to present testimony or who will be available for questioning, please rise and come to the podium to be sworn in by the town clerk. If you have not been sworn, you will not be permitted to testify or otherwise participate in this hearing.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I am about to give in the matter before this council is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under penalty of perjury.
Don't go far, Jacob. The hearing will be conducted as follows. The town staff shall present a brief synopsis of the application based on the application or actions taken by the director, by P&Z Commission, or by town staff. Then the applicant shall present their case. Next will come witnesses in support of the applicant's case. The applicant, staff, or witnesses may then be questioned by the hearing board. The presiding officer will then ask the applicant if that concludes its case in chief and states that the proponent and its witnesses will remain available to be further questioned by the hearing board, by staff, or by opponents to the application. Following the close of the applicant's case, witnesses in opposition to the applicant's case shall be permitted to testify, during the course of which the witness may address questions to any previous witness, but such questions shall be made to the presiding officer. The presiding officer shall have the sole discretion in directing the question for response, considering whether the question is irrelevant, is cumulative to other testimony, or is otherwise inappropriate. At the close of testimony against the application, the presiding officer asks the applicant, is there anything else you wish to be reflected in the record? And then we'll try to make a decision. Jamie?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, councilors. As I'm sure you're familiar with these applications, I will shorten the presentation for you and turn the lights on. This is a zone change 13-05. The address is 816 East 19th Street. The owner is Jacob Vega. This is the property in question. The circle that you see on the map is the 300-foot radius in which the neighbors were notified. The property in question is the turquoise rectangle in the middle. You'll notice that although it is zoned commercially currently, it is very near the residential B area, which is shown in blue. And except for 19th Street, it would be contiguous with the residential B area. This is a photo of the subject property and the vacant lot that is next door. You will see the sign that Mr. Vega posted is visible from 19th Street. This property and the adjacent property have both been used residentially in the past. Mr. Vega has had a mobile home on the property, but it was destroyed by fire, which was over 1 year ago, and that's why he has to come before the council to have it rezoned to replace residence. This is another photo of the property and the property next door. You'll see the area where the vehicle is in the rear. That's Highway 180. And the photos were taken from 19th Street. This is 19th Street to the north. There are already mobile homes in the area that have been there several years. This is the area that is currently zoned residential B. This is the house on the lot adjoining the subject property. It's used residentially. You'll notice to the west of the property, the commercial area doesn't really begin until you get closer to Silver Street. There's a mix of commercial and residential uses in the area. This is the view to the east of the subject property on 19th Street. You'll notice that past the creek there are no more homes or commercial uses until you get to PA Road. So the creek is a natural barrier between the current commercial area and the property that Mr. Vega would like to use residentially. This is the view facing north of Highway 180. You'll notice in the photos of the adjacent lot you saw the shed there, that gives you a little idea of these two lots. They appear to be one lot from Highway 180, but they are two separate lots that are owned by different people. For an amendment to the official zoning map, the Planning Commission and the Town Council have to make at least one of the following findings. Would you like me to read them into evidence here?
No, but your presentation is part of the record.
This was heard by the Planning and Zoning Commission at their regular November meeting, and they found that they recommend it be approved, citing findings number 1, the proposed amendment is in substantial compliance with the Town Council's plan. Number 2, the proposed amendment will not adversely affect the implementation of the goals and policies of the Town Comprehensive Plan. Number 4, the proposed amendment will not adversely impact public health, safety, or general welfare, or will promote the original purpose of the land use code. And number 7, the proposed amendment provides additional flexibility in meeting the objectives of this land use code. Are there any photos that you would like to see again?
Any questions for your staff?
No, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Vega, would you like to present your case?
Good evening. I believe that changing this back to residential would be a benefit to the area because 19th Street is a very narrow street, and if it was used as commercial, I think the traffic would be too heavy for that street, and it would probably impact the neighborhood even worse than going back to residential.
Anything else?
That's it.
Any witnesses in support of the application? Seeing none, any witnesses in opposition to the application? Seeing none, are there any questions for any witness?
Yes, sir.
Hearing none, is there anything else you wish to be reflected in the record? Is the hearing board prepared to consider this application and render its decision?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'll entertain a motion. Councilor.
Mr. Mayor, I move for approval of ordinance number 1226, an ordinance for a map amendment zone change ZC 13-05 from a commercial zone to residential B zone for a tract of land which is addressed as 816 East 19th Street, Silver City, New Mexico. The property is located in Block 13 of the Plata Vista addition to the town of Silver City. The applicant is the owner, Jacob B. Vega, as recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission, using finding number 2. And let me find that real quick, I should have. Proposed amendment will not adversely affect the implementation of the goals and policies of the town's comprehensive plan.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor,
I second the motion as stated.
there's a motion and a second to approve and a finding of fact. Is there any other discussion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
There's a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 1226, an ordinance for a map amendment zone change number ZC 13-05 from a commercial zone to a residential B zone for a tract of land which is addressed as 816 East 19th Street, Silver City, New Mexico. The property is located in Block 13 of the Plata Vista addition to the town of Silver City. The applicant is the owner, Jacob B. Vega. I believe you included the findings of the P&Z?
As recommended by P&Z.
As recommended by P&Z, with the finding that this will not adversely affect the implementation of the goals and policies of the town's comprehensive plan. Do I have to do a roll call on that end? Roll call.
Councilor Morones?
Aye.
Councilor Ray?
Aye.
Councilor Cook?
Aye.
Councilor Benson?
Aye.
Motion carries, and that concludes this hearing.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Bedison.
I move for a short break.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second, and we take a short break. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're in recess. We'll call this meeting back to order, and the next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of a special dispenser permit application for the Ruben Ramos concert sponsored by DJ Milligram on December 28, 2013, from 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. at the Grant County Veterans Memorial Business and Conference Center, 3031 Highway 180 East, Silver City, New Mexico. Liquor license holder is Buffalo Bar LLC. Liquor license number 0361 at 211 North Bullard Street, Silver City, New Mexico. We're gonna come on up.
There you go. Mayor, Town Council, thank you for this opportunity to be here today. My name is Maui Iwatafi. I'm standing on behalf of DJ Milligram, who cannot be here today. I am here to request for the special dispenser permit application to serve alcohol at the Ruben Ramos concert on the 28th of this month. There's going to be a special designated area in the area of the conference center where alcohol will be permitted, provided by the Buffalo Bar. Also, licensed servers and security will be there to monitor the alcohol at that special designated area. I've also included a map and the names of the servers and security to the city clerk. I provided that yesterday. And just request for the approval for this.
Will the alcohol be contained in the common break room?
Yes, in the common break room, just in that specific area.
So you can't carry alcohol out into the concert area?
No, we will have the security monitor the area to that designated area as well. So it won't be allowed to the stage in any of that area.
Any questions? Councilor Best.
So There's a note that the patio is enclosed with a 12-foot-high cinder block fence, so will not go out to the patio?
No, ma'am, just in the break room where the alcohol will be served, in that designated area.
And the security will be at the exit and at the entrance?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody like to testify regarding this application? Come forward.
Hi, my name's Lillian Grady, and down a little bit. And I don't oppose the application, and I'm not in favor of the application, but what I did want a little bit of a clarification on is because Ann did give me an opportunity to review the floor plan, and I didn't quite understand exactly what area was a licensed premise. Because as we all know, minors cannot be on a licensed premise, and maybe I looked at it incorrectly, but I couldn't tell what area of the floor plan was the specific licensed premise.
Would you like to address that?
The concert's going to be 18 and over. Concert's not all ages concert. And in that specific area, we do have the security to monitor the area to make sure that designated area it will only be with the 21 and over people into that area as well.
So that is just the shaded area labeled as the common break room, Buffalo Bar 0361?
Yes, right here in this area.
And it wouldn't go into the patio?
No.
We're only going to serve right there.
Just serving that area.
And not here?
Not there.
That's right there. No, just right there.
So the people present will not be able to take their alcohol in either of those areas? Okay. That's my only question.
Thank you.
Will there be smoking permitted in the patio area?
Yes.
Then would you have security at that door that goes from the...
Right in the exit and the entrance to make sure everything's being monitored.
You done, Councilor Cook?
Yes.
Councilor Bedison?
So you're going to have security at the entrance and exit the area, yet people can go out and smoke in the patio area.
Mm-hmm.
So the question still going to remain is that, are you going to have security stationed at that?
In that designated area with the exit and the entrance. And if they want to go smoke, they're permitted to go smoke in the patio, but they cannot bring their alcohol beverage to that patio.
Okay, let me finish my question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you going to have security individual standing there between the entrance from the common break room into the patio so that they cannot exit into the patio with alcohol?
Yes.
Okay. So there'll be actually 3 locations where there'll be security then?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what about those that are under 21 that wish to smoke? They will be exiting through the front entrance and going to the front of the building?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure they wouldn't be entering the patio to smoke as well, somehow.
Yes.
Any other discussion?
Can I say something else?
You may.
I have put a couple of these applications together, and for alcohol and gaming, they specifically want the licensed area, like designated, and I don't see that on that plan itself. You see what I'm saying?
What do you mean
Where it says, this area, licensed premise. Because no minor can go into that specific area, just like they do the Blues Fest. You know how they have the Blues Fest and you've got your beer garden and they've got it all fenced off. I don't see any place on the floor plan that says this will be the licensed premise.
Mr. Stavro?
The explanation of the testimony is a further explanation of the map, and I think that when you listen to the testimony and look at this map together, it becomes clear that the shaded area is the licensed premises. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And entrance, all 3 entrances will be secured so that the licensed premises will not spill over to the patio or to the main ballroom. Is that correct?
The only area that they can drink is that map that we got there. I don't know if you've seen it.
This little gray area?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only place they can drink. We'll have a security right at the doors for no one under 21 can go in. We'll also have probably 2 or 3 security people watching that we don't have anybody that's had too much to drink, as usual, like in any bar, and that everything is peaceful. Also, if there's any other exit, we'll have somebody there at the door that they can't take any liquor out or let anybody in that's under 21.
So for the purpose of this consideration of the application, in conjunction with the map that has a shaded area that states exit at the top, common break room, Buffalo Bar 0361, and entrance at the bottom. If this is approved, that would be what would be approved for the special dispenser permit, and only that area.
Yes. Also, all our security, all our servers are licensed to serve, and they have to go to a server school, and they're instructed very well there for different incidents, or how to check IDs, how to do, I imagine you're aware of that.
We do quite a few of these. Any other discussion?
What was that?
Any other discussion?
No, unless you have questions for me.
Councilor Besson.
Just one quick question. Is there a prep room for the Ruben Ramos, for him himself, where he will be playing, where he will be with his band?
Yes, right there in the Santa Fe room, on the rear hall on the map, that's where the prep room, where him and his backing musicians will be.
And he understands that he cannot have alcohol in that room?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I guess that would be the only concern I have, is that he and his group cannot have and serve alcohol in that room.
Yes, they'll be fully aware about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Entertain a motion. Councilor Rick.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve our special dispenser permit application for the Ruben Ramos concert sponsored by DJ Milligram on December 28, 2013, from 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. at the Grant County Veterans Memorial Business and Conference Center, located at 3031 Highway 180 East, Silver City, New Mexico. Liquor license holder, Buffalo Bar LLC, liquor license number 0361 at 211 North Bullard Street in Silver City, New Mexico.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Is there any other discussion? There's a motion and a second to, approve a special dispenser permit application for the Ruben Ramos concert sponsored by DJ Milligram on December 28, 2013, from 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. at the Grant County Veterans Memorial Business and Conference Center, located at 3031 Highway 180, Silver City, New Mexico. Liquor license holder is Buffalo Bar LLC. Liquor license number 0361 at 2011 North Bullard Street, Silver City, New Mexico. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. There you go. You might want to hang around too, because we're going to discuss your other one, or a date for us to discuss it. Next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of a contract agreement between the Town of Silver City and the Southwest Solid Waste Authority for fiscal year 2014 recycling services with the Town of Silver City. Mr. Brown.
Mayor and Council, the contract that's up for consideration is the recycling contract between the Town of Silver City and the Southwest Solid Waste Authority. It's for the same amount that we've been paying for the last 2 years. It goes for the next year and a half, for 2 years, I believe. There was some minor changes. The changes were basically the listing of exactly what was recyclable, and the reason for that is that since the authority has gone to single stream recycling, more items are recyclable, and over the last probably 6 months, we've seen the types of recyclables change considerably, and so we don't want to limit what is picked up by the authority by this contract. The only thing that really isn't recyclable that the authority is picking up for recycling is glass. And the glass is being collected by the authority, and then a local contractor is picking it up, taking it, accepting it, and they are crushing it and using it for base course, to mix with base course. Rather than being recycled, it is being recycled technically because it is being reused for something else and not being put in the landfill. So do you have any questions?
Any comments from the audience on the recycling contract? Seeing none, Council? Councilor Bedson.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve contract agreement between the Town of Silver City and the Southwest Solid Waste Authority for fiscal year 2014 recycling services within the Town of Silver City.
So second? Mr. Mayor, I'll second that as read. There's a motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion? There's a motion and a second, no discussion, to approve the contract between the Town of Silver City and the Southwest Solid Waste Authority for fiscal year 2014 recycling services within the Town of Silver City. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of resolution number 2013-38, authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement and intercept agreement by and between the Town of Silver City and the New Mexico Finance Authority in the principal amount of $765,846 for the purpose of financing the cost of purchasing equipment for Scott Park Baseball and Soccer Complex for use by the governmental unit. Mr. Brown.
This is a resolution that was already approved by the Town Council. We have to bring it back because when the Finance Authority originally took it to their board, they have to, in the loan documents, they have to describe which increment of municipal gross receipts tax is dedicated towards the payment of these funds. There was some confusion, and the reason is because there's 6 increments of municipal gross receipts taxes that are available to the Town of Silver City that can be passed by ordinance. There are 6 ordinances that impose the tax on our books, but only 5 of them have actually been accepted by Tax and Rev. So when you look at our ordinances, we've got 1 through 6. When you look at Tax and Rev, what they've got, you've got 1 through 5. So number 1 doesn't exist per Tax and Rev. So really, our number 1 is officially number 2 per Tax and Rev. So there's some confusion. We got it fixed, and all this does is do exactly what we did before, just changing the dedication to the first and second increment of municipal gross receipts tax. It's just a technical issue.
Can you say that again?
I had to go to the Finance Authority Board to explain that in Santa Fe, and that led into a whole bunch of getting grilled for an hour of things that didn't even pertain to this storm. But
Anybody in the audience like to speak on this? Seeing none, council? Councilor Morales?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know we passed this before, but could you just remind us what it's going to be used for, some of the specific items?
specific items, primarily the first few uses are going to be to install all the lighting for the fields, all the protective netting, some flag poles. We'll be doing all the electrical that up to where the future concession restroom area is going to be. And then we are also going to try to install as much of the sidewalk that are on the plans as we can. We don't know how far we're going to get because we've gone back to we're looking to go through CES, the state contract, and they had to redo some numbers, so we're going to see exactly how much is going to be left over for the sidewalk. That's the final add-on.
Thank you. Just additional comment, I've been out to the complex on a number of occasions. I volunteer as a soccer ref, and wonderful fields. Anybody who's been out there, well, I'm not going to say anybody who's been out there. The people I have spoken to out there love the fields. They've made comments on the ADA sidewalks, and I think that would be a great improvement and will increase the activity and traffic down there. I know the local soccer club has already expressed a tremendous amount of interest for night games, and I know lighting will be it'll be utilized by both soccer and baseball. So I still support this as I did the first time around.
Any other discussion? Councilor Cook?
When's the bathrooms going to be done?
That's the next phase. We've already started asking for help for this next year to get those started. But everything for all the lighting that's remaining, the concession and restroom area, all of that, the design is complete, 100% complete. It's just finding money for the actual construction. The reason that we went for the lights first is because you can't, the concession and bathroom areas, we've got temporary fixes for them. And you can't, there's no way to do a temporary fix for the lighting. And the safety net is a safety issue as well. You know, we do want, the reason for the lighting is, of course, we get a huge number of people out there using those fields during the day. You know, it was a very big investment, and we've got a ton of people who want to use them at night. Both the soccer, the baseball, all different kinds of baseball, but the university wants to use them for practicing at night as well. And you know, the way staff has been looking at it, the more people that we get out there using the fields, it actually provides its own security and safety to protect against vandalism, which prior, when we had the other fields and the other concession stands, we had a lot of vandalism in that area because it's, you know, it's so far out there. But right now, we feel, you know, the community, we haven't had any vandalism. I think once we had some spray paint, somebody spray painted some things on the turf, which we were able to take out right away. But other than that, we haven't had any vandalism at all, and you know, we just want to protect the investment with getting more people, and which basically justifies the investment by getting as many people out there. But yes, yesterday the mayor and I were at Prospectors pushing that, you know, next year that's our number one priority, is the bathrooms and the concession stand.
The bathrooms would be really important.
We've got the porta potties and, you know, we haven't had a lot of, there are some complaints.
Planted. Just joking.
I think it's evident that the public generally supports this. You know, we had a crowd, and they didn't stay around to oppose us spending $1 million, so I think we can pretty well assume that there must have been support. Any other discussion? Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor?
Counselor.
I move for approval of resolution number 2013-38, authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement and intercept agreement by and between the town of Silver City and the New Mexico Finance Authority in the principal amount of $765,846 for the purpose of financing the cost of purchasing equipment for the Scott Park Baseball and Soccer Complex for use by the government unit.
Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
There's a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2013-38. Any discussion? There's a motion and a second, no discussion, to approve resolution 2013-38 as read twice, which is a loan and intercept for $765,846. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
On a roll call. Go ahead, jump right in there.
Council Rose.
Aye.
Council Ray.
Aye.
Motion carries again. Next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of resolution number 2013-41, authorizing the filing of an application for funding with the New Mexico Finance Authority for a government refueling station. Mr. Brown.
Mayor and Council, there's two parts to this. The first is authorizing us to submit the application. We already submitted the application. This is just more of a technical issue, formality for their records.
You want to tell us what we're...
Actually, the mayor signed it, so. What?
Well, there goes my questions.
Sorry, I just had
It's just a darn good project here, guys.
This is the, if everyone remembers, when we purchased the old Shamrock on Pope Street, basically what this does is it provides the funds so that we can get two of the pumps up and running to provide unleaded and diesel fuel, and to install the card system so that whoever fuels up has to use the cards, which is designated per vehicle, and use it. We are looking to partner with the county and other governmental agencies who wish to do so that we can purchase bulk fuel and lower fuel costs for the town of Silver City as well as other entities. Another important part of this is that because we will own the card system, we will be able to get a lot better reports on vehicle fuel usages, hopefully decrease and help monitor any unauthorized use of the gas. Part of this will come later. Per the state, there's two different ways of purchasing bulk fuel under the state procurement code. One is to go under CES contract, which is basically a state contract, and the second would be for us to go out to bid. Speaking with people in the fuel industry, gas goes up and down quickly from week to week, day to day, I guess. We have the advantage that we can change our procurement code so that we can go out to, rather than go out to bid, the lengthy process, we can change it so that we can purchase bulk fuel through written quotes. That way we can go out, if we need to purchase fuel for the tanks tomorrow, we can go out and get the written quotes from the different distributors locally, so that way we can get the best price every day. And we also have a backup protection that where if we get in a situation where fuel starts going sky high, CES actually is protected from, they do long contracts out. So we can actually go from purchasing it day to day to going and purchasing it from CES. So we'll end up being able to take advantage of the best of both worlds.
So when you purchase this, can you purchase, let's say, like a year in advance? I have 11 of those.
Well, I guess we can. We can do those types of long-term purchases.
I mean, if you came across a really good deal, couldn't you say, well, I want, 6 months worth?
The volatility of the industry, that there is risk because of purchasing it long-term. Right now, gas prices are going down because there's so much fuel being produced in the United States.
Actually, they're starting to go up.
Well,
Couple cents.
yeah, it's up and down. It goes day to day. But like I said, our protection is going back to CES, the fallback. The way that we're looking at doing it is everyone that uses it, every entity that uses it, is going to be charged an administrative fee. Right now, through the company that we purchase fuel, we pay 31 cents per gallon above rack, what they buy it for. What we're looking at is selling it to ourselves and to the other entities in the range between 14 and 16 cents per rack, over rack. So everybody saves. That above rack cost is going to go towards the operation and payment of this debt service. So everyone that uses is going to help pay off this for the equipment here, not just the town of Silver City, but anybody that uses it.
But then we'll still be buying gas from local distributors?
No. So there's
I mean, we can leave town to buy it like it is.
Actually, you have to do refineries.
You have the floor still. Are you done?
And
The short answer to the question is when you go out, you find a good deal and you go out and buy over a long term, that's what the contract is with CES. So you built in the securities in that to protect you, but nobody's going to sell you a specific physical gallon of gas at a rate today that they guarantee that rate in 12 months because of the fluctuations. So basically, this is just a continuance of that project that we started a couple years ago, and for us to actually capitalize on the plan on having bulk fuel purchased and sales to the local governments and pay off this debt service, we need to proceed. Any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Morales.
I move for approval of resolution number 2013-41, authorizing the filing of an application for funding with the New Mexico Finance Authority for a government refueling station.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2013-41. Any other discussion? There's a motion and a second, no discussion, to approve Resolution 2013-41 is read twice. All those in favor, signify, roll call. Sorry, I'm on a roll.
Councilor Morales?
Aye.
Councilor Riley?
Aye.
Councilor Cook? Councilor Day?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is approval, disapproval of resolution number 2013-40, authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement and intercept agreement by the by and between the town of Silver City and the New Mexico Finance Authority in the principal amount of $196,079 for the purpose of financing the cost of converting and upgrading an existing gas station into a government refueling station. Mr. Brown.
Mayor and Council, this is, again, the Finance Authority Board has already authorized it. This is actually the Town Council approving accepting the loan and the intercept of the debt service payment.
Any other Anybody want the floor?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor.
Very quickly, how long is the term of this agreement?
It's 10 years.
10 years?
The previous one was 15.
With that 14 to 16 cents over rack price, have we done any numbers on what we presume we'll be getting from the other government entities, the county, schools?
The schools have their own. The county has theirs for the off-road equipment. They have their own tank. But the county we would be using it more for like police vehicles and Correcaminos. I believe the hospital, if they wanted to, the university, those other types of entities would have access to it. But just using the town's numbers, that's where I came up with the 14 to 16 cents based on our usage. So anything above and beyond that would lower that administration cost to all of us.
So our usage alone would pay off this in the 10 years. And if any of the other entities use it, we're using other government entities to help pay for our debt.
Yes. And even paying for the loan and the operation, that 14 to 16 cents, we're already saving 15 to 16 cents per gallon. And when we're talking about the town spends approximately, last year we spent $320,000 on fuel. So the number of gallons varies because the rack cost. So an average of $3.20, we're talking 100,000 gallons.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor.
I move for approval of resolution number 2013-40, authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement and intercept agreement by and between the town of Silver City and the New Mexico Finance Authority in the principal amount of $196,079 for the purpose of financing the cost converting and upgrading an existing gas station into a government refueling station.
Mr. Mayor, I second the motion stated.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Is there any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilor.
Yeah, just listening to those numbers and the savings, it does seem reasonable that between our savings and our cost, we're going to be, Silver City alone is going to have the wherewithal to pay this off, and it's good to hear that there might be some other entities that are helping us pay for that. I think it's definitely a win mathematically.
Thank you. Any other discussion? There's a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2013-40 as read twice. Your turn.
Councilor Morales?
Aye.
Councilor Wright?
Aye.
Councilor Cook?
Aye.
Councilor Wright?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval disapproval of resolution number 2013-37 for the regular municipal election to be held on March 4th, 2014. And?
Mayor and Council, this resolution is to call the election of March 4th, 2014. It's for elective offices of one mayor for a 2-year term, one councilor in District 2 for a 2-year term, one councilor in District 4 for a 2-year term, and one municipal judge for a 4-year term. On the ballot, we'll have the following question posed to the voters. Shall the town of Silver City continue to impose the municipal infrastructure gross receipts tax of 1/8 of 1% that was adopted on July 1st, 2004, and dedicated solely to expenditures for public safety? On the ballot, the voters will check yes or no to that question. In addition, on this resolution, we have some other details about the election. The polling places are, for District 1, will be at the Women's Club. For District 2, Jose Barrios Elementary School. For District 3, Silver City Senior Center. And District 4 is the Knights of Columbus. Absentee voting will begin at City Hall on January 28th and end February 28th. The early voting on machine at City Hall will begin February 12th. Anybody that desires to vote in the election must be registered with the county clerk of Grant County no later than Tuesday, February 4th by 5 p.m. Any persons interested in declaring their candidacy for any of those offices must appear in my office on Tuesday, January 7th, 2014, between the hours of 8 and 5 p.m. The casting of votes by the electors on March 4th, 2014, shall be recorded on paper ballots to be counted by the M100 electronic vote tabulators, the same machines we've used for many years now. Do you have any questions?
Any questions, comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor.
I move to approve resolution number 2013-37 for the regular municipal election to be held on March 4th, 2014.
I'll second. There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? There's a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2013-37 for the regular municipal election to be held on March 4th, 2014. All those in favor signify by a roll call.
Council Betts.
Aye.
Council Cook.
Aye.
Council Ray.
Aye.
Council Long.
Aye.
Motion carries. See, I've gone back to 2006. We just would have said aye. The next item on the agenda is discussion and vote on whether to cancel or change the regular council meeting scheduled for December 24th, 2013. We do have an agenda item request that the requester states that our first meeting in January is beyond the deadline that they would have. And I believe you have all seen the notice on that. It's another special dispenser permit application. And do you want to talk about availability?
Well, I did check for the availability on this room. On December 16th, it's available for me to start setting it up at 5:30, so we have a meeting around 6:30. Then on Wednesday, the 18th, and Thursday, the 19th, and Friday, the 20th, it's available after 5 p.m. And I believe the 17th out, that's why I didn't mention it. So the possible options are the 16th, 18th, and 19th in the evening.
Anybody have any preference on 16th, 18th, or 19th?
Mr. Mayor, I prefer the 16th.
Anybody object to the 16th?
No, sir.
Does that work? The 16th?
Monday.
Entertain a motion to reschedule the meeting from December 24th, 2013 to December 16th at 6:30 in this room. 6:30?
6:30 or 6?
6:30.
6:30 would be better, because there's a meeting left 4 hours, and I need to...
Oh, that's right.
And that other meeting uses all the tables, and they'll have everything mixed up. Councilor Riff?
Mr. Mayor, I move to change our meeting from December 24th, 2013 to December 16th 2013, for regular council meeting at 6:30 PM here in the building.
Mr. Mayor, I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second to reschedule our meeting till, our next meeting will be on December 16th at 6:30 PM in this room. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Hearing none, there's a motion and a second to reschedule the December 24th, 2013 meeting till to December 16th, 2013 at 6:30 in this room. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I second the motion as stated.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Can we do a roll call? I'm just kidding. Any opposed? Motion carries for adjourn.